if it's not about being perfect, then why can't I just buy only clothes from fairer conditioned work and not be vegan?
You can, of course, but then you're going against your own morals, like you started off with.
Why are you trying to find ways to keep doing it rather than changing that?
I do also believe that the empathy and the feelings that people can feel are much greater than that
Apparently
animals
not.
can feel. We should also focus on the humans.
I wouldn't walk up to people protesting the genocide in Gaza and ask them, but why don't you protest the climate change instead? It's possible to care about different things and at the same time choose to leave others alone when we can.
Da må jeg fokusere, det er min tur å levere. Av visdom å spre, og det er det jeg ønsker å kreve I lønn, mer enn en drøm.
So cool that you agreed to join a discussion. So my name is Matthias.
Okay, my name is Paul.
What I want to ask people about today is discrimination.
Yeah.
So first off, what are your thoughts about discrimination in general?
I think discrimination is not something that we should support. I think it's a bad thing and that nobody should do it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And most people would probably say the same and say they're against it. And we live in a time now where, luckily, this is what we're taught. But I think it's a good practice to kind of ask ourselves why that is, like what's wrong about it, why should we be against it? Because if we don't know why, then we might accept if we just like do what society wants us to do, then maybe we partake in things we are actually against if we don't question things right. Mm-hmm. Let's try to define discrimination. So what I would say it is unfair treatment of individuals based on things that the individuals didn't choose or based on things that are irrelevant to the bad treatment itself.
Yeah.
Yeah, would you agree? That's
I
a
would
fair...
completely agree, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And another thing I've noticed with discrimination is that you often like place individuals in boxes, like categories, like depriving them of their individuality, and then you place traits on the whole category itself, instead of the individuals. Would you agree? This is like a trait of discrimination?
Yeah, I think I do think society does that, but I don't think I personally do.
Yeah, that's good to hear. Yeah. So, but again, like, what is wrong with discrimination?
Yeah, I think it's just not fair to underprivilege people based on their ethnicities or other things that, for one, they didn't choose, and for another thing that just don't exactly matter. So just because people were born somewhere else doesn't mean that there's something different with them from here. I don't know.
Yeah, like it's unfair, like you said. But like, if someone is being discriminated around me, why should I care?
Because I personally don't think that it's okay, and I wouldn't want to be discriminated myself, so why shouldn't I help the people?
Yeah, right, you wouldn't want to be in that situation yourself.
Yeah.
Like, so you're saying we should have like empathy for
exactly.
others, and
Yeah.
So maybe the conversation will get a bit more difficult now, or maybe you'll start arguing against yourself, I don't know, with the next question. So is it acceptable to discriminate individuals who are not human?
Who are not human.
Right.
For example?
Like, say, non-human animals.
Animals. I am not exactly sure. I've never thought about discriminating animals in the first place. But I do think that society puts animals in categories as well as humans are being done to.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think it comes to which animal it is. So if you're talking about the worldwide known beauty debate that butterflies, for example, are not as hated as cockroaches,
Yeah.
then I would say that cockroaches are invading spaces that you personally own, which isn't good. And I don't want to have a butterfly in my apartment also, so I don't know.
Yeah, but you could say, but you wouldn't want people just walking into your apartment either.
No,
if you
exactly.
did. So then this, I would say, if you just trap a cockroach or an insect and just let them out from your home, I wouldn't say call that as discrimination, because it's like you said, they're invading your space, and you would also do the same to humans who invaded your space, right?
Yeah.
But what about the animals people use for things like meat, eggs, dairy products, clothing, animal testing?
I mean, in which way are they discriminated? So they are abused in a way that they are killed or just born to get killed and made meat of? Though,
I mean, if we did the same to individuals of our own species, would you find that to be acceptable?
for people to be born just to be killed for meat, or
Right.
no, I don't think so.
Okay. But is it okay to do to individuals of other species?
I wouldn't also say that, though I do think that it is viable for the humanity, for humanity to survive, and that there are some lines that have to be crossed.
What do you mean?
So, for example, wolves are eating other animals as well. So, why can't we?
Well, wild animals also rape each other, so why can't we?
Because we have a protective system of law. I don't know, but I don't think that raping other animals is something good. They should do.
Yeah, my point was that
Yeah.
other animals, well, for one, when they eat each other, they're in a survival situation, where, and they do so out of necessity. Whereas us humans, we have supermarkets, we have a choice. We can get all the nutrients we need without exploiting other animals.
Yeah.
So for us, it's a choice. And we are also what's called moral agents, so we have more understanding of our actions' consequences, so we can make more informed choices. We have a better understanding of right and wrong, stuff like that, which is why it's wrong for us to rape, because we should know better.
Yeah.
But animals who don't have the same cognitive capacities, we wouldn't say, well, but they do it, so we should be allowed to. In other cases,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Is it okay to discriminate? Back to the question, discriminate someone if they're born different species than us?
No, I wouldn't say so.
No?
No.
So where does that lead us then?
Though I don't think that animals have the brain capacity to understand discrimination. So they aren't exactly discriminated, they are just used for their values to us. So meat or wool.
But this in itself to me sounds like discrimination, because we're saying because they're not as smart as us, we can treat them in ways we wouldn't want to be treated ourselves. So what if we did the same to mentally handicapped humans?
I wouldn't think that is something good. I would think it's wrong.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So the intelligence level is a factor that's not relevant for the treatment. Because if we did the same to humans with the same level of intelligence, you would say it's wrong.
Yeah, though humans don't have the same level of intelligence, then
There are humans with less intelligence than animals people eat. There are humans with brain damage or development issues
Even-
that can't understand words.
Yeah. Even
So-
3-year-old kids have the same capacity or intelligence as a pig, for example.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, aren't you now like arguing against which side of it, that we shouldn't like treat someone different just because of how they're born?
I might be. I don't exactly. I lost my point somewhere.
What?
I lost my point somewhere, so I might be arguing against my.
Yeah. Well, so if humans, if we can get by, survive, and thrive without exploiting others and discriminate, should we then also refrain from doing so?
I mean, yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, are you currently participating in practices that do exploit and discriminate non-humans?
I mean, I think everybody is. Have you ever visited a zoo?
Not since I decided not to support animal exploitation anymore, no.
Yeah. But before you did, right?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah. And currently, I am still participating in that system. Yes.
Right. So, do you recognize then that there is a contradiction then between your values and what you practice?
Yeah.
Right. So, what do you think you can do about this, like going forward?
I mean, I could definitely change. I could like not eat meat and stuff like that. Though I believe that it takes time and you have to go over your values yourself to really understand what you really want with your life, and if you want to be missing out on meat or something like that.
But you said missing out, but first off, there are an abundance of good plant-based foods and plant-based meats and stuff.
I eat those.
But even if it wasn't, like, is pleasure a good justification to treat others unfairly? Because I could say, well, I find too much pleasure in sexually assaulting women to want to change.
I wouldn't think that's okay, no.
Right. So you said it should take time, but if you acknowledge now that your actions are not in line with your morals, do you feel like, is there anything stopping you from just like from now on leave animals alone?
Not exactly, though. I also do believe that it is a really helpful factor to have those dairy products, for example milk, in life, because it has a lot of protein, for example for muscle growth, if I want to go to the gym and get my milk in.
Yeah, but like there's nothing in milk we can't get without milk. There's all the amino acids and proteins you can get from animals you can get without animals. And milk is also made by like forcibly making someone pregnant without their consent, and then kidnap and kill their kids so you can take the milk that was supposed to go to the kids. And then when you can't get her pregnant anymore, after some cycles her body can't take it anymore, and then she's also killed.
Yeah.
So if you don't need anything from that process, shouldn't that process like not happen at all?
Yeah, I do agree. That does make sense, yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So it's a tough question, but how many animals should be exploited for you from now on? Should it be 0 or more?
Just for me?
Yeah?
We have control over our actions.
Yeah, I do know.
Yeah.
We can't change the whole system, we can't change the world, but what we do, we are responsible for, right? The demand that we create.
That's how all exploitation ends. Yeah. Whether it's who the victim is.
So I do get that 0 animals would be the right answer. So
Yeah, it should be 0.
Yeah, it should definitely be 0, and I do understand why. It is the right choice, obviously. Though I don't think I can just stop from one day to the other and change my whole life.
You definitely can, but I guess maybe it seems overwhelming, maybe?
Yeah,
Or,
exactly.
yeah. So there are many ways to go about this, but it has to come from the person changing that they really want to change and see the urgency of it. Some people have like a gradual where they like consume less and less, but what's important to keep in mind is that all these animals are individual victims, right? And if you were that one next animal that will get exploited for you, right? Would you then want you to try to not do it, or just to decide not to do it?
I didn't really get the question. So if I myself would be the next animal I would exploit?
Right. If you were in line to be killed, for example,
Yeah.
And the person killing the animals came closer to you, would you want them to gradually stop, or to do it a bit slower, or to say I'm going to try not to kill you, or would you want them to decide not to kill you?
I mean, obviously decide. Though I think it's something pretty hard. So I would maybe consider it as a kind of addiction. So if you ever got addicted to smoking, it's really, really hard just to stop from one day to the next day.
Yeah, but in that circumstance, it's the victim you're creating is kind of like yourself.
Yeah.
So even if you're addicted and you don't have like willpower, at least you're not creating direct victims. But in this scenario, there's someone else at the end of your choices.
Yeah.
And of course, I can understand that like habits can be hard to change and addictions can be hard to get over. But if we see it from their perspective, the animal's perspective, then who has it harder?
The animals, obviously.
Yeah. Right. So, but you seem like an open-minded guy, and even if you not sure how quick you want to do something about it, at least I'm glad you agree that it's wrong and that you should. And what would you call someone who refrains from exploiting animals? There's a word for it.
I'm not exactly sure. Like
Starts with V.
English is not my mother
Okay.
language. My vocabulary is not that.
Vegan. That's what a vegan is.
Okay.
So veganism is the ethical principle that humans should live without exploiting other animals.
Yeah.
Many people think it's just a diet or lifestyle choice, but it's not about what you eat, but who you choose not to exploit. So it's about like justice and ethics.
Yeah.
Right. Here is a documentary that shows all the standard practices in the industries that exploit animals. So you should watch so that you know what you're demanding if you choose to stay a non-vegan.
Yeah.
And here are like some resources just to help you out in the beginning. Challenge 22, you get free access to nutritionists and dietitians, and they answer all questions you might have, or send you recipes and help out with the practical stuff. Yeah.
Though I do have another last question.
Sure.
So your point is all the time that animals should not be exploited, and humans obviously also shouldn't.
Right.
So aren't you and I buying clothing that is made in Bangladesh by underpaid children's workers?
Yeah, and I bought this in Bangladesh. I was there half a year ago, actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
So to that, I would say humans, unlike non-humans, we have the capacity to give informed consent, and people working in harsh conditions usually work where it's like the best option they can find. So if we were to boycott, let's say, a factory where they make clothes, and the factory, and let's say the boycott works and the factory closes down, okay, then maybe they only have worse jobs to go to, right? So it's a little bit more complex when it comes to humans, but just the fact that we are able to consent to stuff is not like as black and white, I would say, in that sense. But of course, humans are also exploited, and that's also obviously wrong.
Yeah.
But and if I know that, like, if I have two products in front of me and I know this one exploits someone, like human or non-human, and this one does not, or it's a more fair option, then I would choose the fairer option, right?
Yeah, but for example, you have Puma shoes on. Those are also made in the Asian countries where people are underpaid and children do not exactly consent to work in under that conditions. They just don't have another choice. So why wouldn't you be here and try to debate for these factories to get their workers to get better pay?
Why we focus on non-humans over
Exactly.
humans? Well, because non-humans are the most oppressed group on the planet. They're killed by the millions every minute. Since we started talking, like, many million animals have been killed, and people don't even see them as victims. People see them as objects, and we kill up to like 2-3 trillion animals every year. In 1 month, we kill more animals than the number of humans who have ever existed. So that's why this issue has become a priority to me. That is in terms of the number of victims, no other injustice can ever compare.
Okay.
And these victims also can't speak up for themselves, so they are dependent on us speaking or someone else speaking for them, you know.
Yeah, but the underpaid children in Bangladesh, for example, are also not really able to speak up for themselves because they just don't have another choice.
Right.
Yeah. So, and
I agree that's bad too. Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong to focus on both, you know, like there's nothing like we cannot focus on two things.
Yeah.
But I mean, we should focus on what's mostly being happening in the world, then it's animal exploitation because it's actually being legally, you know, it's legal.
Yeah, they're not killing the kids when they don't work anymore and keep breeding them into existence like we do with the animals.
Yeah.
Being vegan is not about being perfect. We can't be perfect in every aspect. It's just recognizing that, like, animals, just like us, are sentient beings. They have a subjective experience of the world. Therefore, they don't want. They have an interest in their own lives. So they're not here for us to use. They are here for their own reasons.
Yeah.
And we should try our best to leave them alone.
yeah, but if you are able to make the choice to be vegan and stop other animals being abused from you, why couldn't you buy other shoes than Puma shoes, for example? Why couldn't you buy other alternatives that are made in fairer conditions? Because you said you have the choice to do both. So
Yeah.
and why aren't you doing that?
I mean, I've had these for super long. I don't know when I bought them, but the point, like I said, it's not about like doing everything perfect. So I don't understand like what you struggle to understand here, or
Yeah, but if it's not about being perfect, then why can't I just buy only clothes from fairer condition work and not be vegan?
you can, of course, but then you're going against your own morals, like you started off with. Because whenever you demand animal exploitation, you're going against the values you started off with, that you shouldn't treat individuals unfairly based on their body they're born into.
Yeah, but aren't you going against your morals as well if you are wearing these shoes?
I mean, with animal products, you know for sure that an animal was exploited. But with clothing, there's no like accurate way to know, okay, this specific clothing came from kids working without consent. Like, if there's a way for me to know, if there's like a system where it shows which clothes, okay, then if you have an alternative, okay, right, then I'll do it.
Yeah, exactly. You can just Google where do these shoes come from, and you'll see it.
Yeah. But another thing you're doing now is like it seems like you're either using one of two logical fallacies. It sounds like it's either an appeal to futility or an appeal to hypocrisy. The fact that I'm a hypocrite, let's say I just ate meat, that I just ate animals.
Okay.
The fact that I'm a hypocrite doesn't change anything in my argument that we should leave animals alone, right? So it doesn't matter what I do in relation to this discussion.
Yeah.
And the other is like, because it sounds like you're hinting at that because we can't do everything perfect, then that makes it okay for us to do whatever. Or, yeah, is that the point you're trying to get at, or what?
No, I wouldn't say whatever, though. I do think if you say we can be perfect and you aren't perfect, I am also in no way. That
Why are you trying to find ways to keep doing it rather than changing that?
no, I'm not trying to find ways to keep doing it. I just want to explain that you can't just focus on that one thing and then abandon all the other like bad things on this planet.
I mean, you can.
Yeah, you can, but why can't I? Why shouldn't I just be not vegan?
Exactly. That's up to you. That's only you
Yeah.
who can take that decision. So if you know what's at stake, then you can make that change. That is only an individual choice and decision. I cannot say you have to do this or you have to do that, but now you know, or you can argue against what is wrong, and then you will take action from there on.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we don't care what happened in the past. Like we also used to eat animals. I've killed animals with my own hands, stuff like that. But like you said in the beginning, you said you hadn't thought about it this way before, that it was discrimination. So the point is just that it is your choice, of course, but we feel like exploiting others shouldn't be a personal choice, right? Because it creates victims. Like we have worker laws in Norway that like workers can't exploit their workers too much, stuff like that. But it's still fully legal to ejaculate and forcibly inseminate animals. It's fully legal to take their kids from them, cut their throats. Like so, in that sense, like it's the biggest injustice and with the largest number of victims, and it's something we easily can do something about. Like I can't always know where all the clothes I buy come from, but I know if there's an animal product there, then I know for sure someone was exploited to death for that product.
Yeah, but you can do research on the clothing you buy, for example.
Sure, but like I said, if you have an alternative for me, if I have alternatives, then of course you would choose the one that creates the least amount of harm, least amount of exploitation, right?
Yeah, you can just search an alternative.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
So how many more animals then should be exploited again for you from now on?
None. Yeah.
None, right. And that would mean to go vegan, right?
Yeah. And how many kids should be exploited for you? From
None.
None. So you're going to buy alternatives from...
Well, how was this,
No.
why do we keep bringing it back to this and equating these two things? No kids have their throat slit for a shoe, right?
But do you think it's okay for kids to be forced working under very, very bad conditions?
No, but I don't think one personal boycott has the same effect, because, like I said, they're in a situation where that's the best they can do, right?
Yeah, though, if I personally try to boycott the eating meat industry and dairy products, everything...
Then 100 less animals per year. Right now there are, I don't know how often you eat, but between 1 and 300 animals per year for one person. So every time we buy animal products, we create demand, right? So if we stop our demand, there are maybe 200 individuals each year that will not be executed for you.
Not exactly, because the companies will not look at the number and say, this one person...
This you can look up yourself. This is like supply and demand is the thing. Like, why were they killed? Because people buy it, right?
Yeah, I know, but one person does not make a difference.
Yes,
that's exactly. They will kill more every year, not less, because one person said no.
But all movements in history, whoever changed anything, started with just a small number of people.
Yeah.
Right? And if we don't change, then how is anything ever going to change?
There's no way.
Right.
Yeah.
So you have to start individually. Otherwise, there's no way to do it.
Yeah, but he just said that a personal boycott of not buying shoes made from Bangladesh, for example, wouldn't change anything in that sense.
I think that's a different thing because we know that we don't know how those conditions are, and we don't know for sure if there's a child involved in every clothing that we buy, no matter what kind of clothing we wear. But we know that it's an animal product.
So you would take the risk to buy clothing that could be made by underpaid children?
I mean, right now
just
we don't
because
have that
it does
choice.
It's not. Yeah, we do have a choice.
How does this change you paying others to rape and kill animals for you?
I'm not paying others to rape and kill animals for me.
They are produced by sexually assaulting them, right?
Yeah.
How does like kids making clothes on the other side of the world, outside of our control, how does this change your responsibility in discriminating non-humans? It seems like just a red herring. You want to divert the conversation onto something else because, yeah.
No, I just want to make clear that it's not the only problem in the world. I know, I get it, it's correct.
But
to be
again,
vegan
we
and
are focusing on what's mostly injustice, and that's for animals because there are billions of animals, trillions actually, that are being exploited and killed every second. So it's like a whole other level than humans.
Yeah, though I do also believe that the empathy and the feelings that people can feel are much greater than that. That
Apparently
animals
not.
can feel. Why not?
I mean, or first off, what do you base this assumption of? That humans have more empathy than other animals? Or what was your point? Sorry, I interrupted you.
It's just a fact that people do have a much more complex system of thinking and a system of understanding things. So,
And does that give us is that an excuse to use others who don't have the same, or does it give us more responsibility to do better?
in no way that's an excuse, though I do think that
But
because of this we should also focus on the humans.
Yeah, and if you want to have this as your cause to do activism for, sure, go ahead. You can, of course, try to make a difference in that lane.
Yeah.
But you can also do that while at the same time, just 3 times a day, leave animals off your plate and just choose not to exploit animals at the same time.
I do.
Right.
And you could also. Couldn't you?
Yeah, but now we are talking about your values, not ours. It's yours. that we're
But
talking about.
if we are in a conversation, a discussion, I do think that both of our values should be brought in it.
Yeah,
and not
and we
just
are
mine.
agreeing, but
Yeah.
it's not like what we are focusing on. We are focusing on animals because those are mostly being exploited at this point. So, of course, we can focus on the other thing, but that's not what we're bringing up to make a point for.
It's like I wouldn't walk up to people having protesting the genocide in Gaza and ask them, oh, but why don't you protest the climate change instead? Climate change affects all of us, not just Palestinians. Like, there is possible to care about different things, and at the same time, just choose to leave others alone when we can. Like we said, we agree with you that child labor is wrong, and if we have the option, we would choose not to support it. Right.
You do have the option.
Right.
Yeah.
And I do. Like, if I know, I want. Right.
So you are searching alternatives for clothes. I am searching alternatives for clothes, and I'm vegan from now on. Is that a deal?
Yeah, but vegan from now on.
Yeah, from now on.
Okay, that's strong. That's
Yeah.
really cool. Yeah. All right. Wow. I was okay. You want to add anything or?
No, I think
Yeah.
it's good if that's what you want. Like, it has to come from within. So as long as it comes from within, and not from a point that you want to make towards others, but it's something from within.
Yeah.
Then that's cool.
And
Yeah.
as vegans, we also make mistakes.
yeah.
Sometimes we might buy something and later if we see, shit, this has some animal stuff in it, or that one was tested on like, so.
Now you know better, so yeah.
Yeah, so the same thing applies for us too. Like we were not always, so we also make mistakes as vegans.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. Yeah.
So both of us are going to better now.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Okay.
Well, I give you a card, right?
Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there you have like lots of practical help, like resources, and do you feel like anything in particular that would be challenging with this?
Maybe just the cost, because plant-based products do cost like a good fee more than.
It all depends what you buy.
On average, plant-based diets are 30% cheaper. Cheapest foods in the world are plant-based: rice, beans, lentils, potatoes, bread, local fruits, vegetables, grain, oats.
But though I do talk about meat alternatives like tofu.
Yeah, but then you're talking specifically about that.
Yeah.
That has nothing to do with the plant-based itself. So plant-based are variety of things. So you can choose whatever you want within it. So then you cannot say that it's expensive, because it all depends on what you choose. If you choose the most expensive, then it is expensive.
I'm a fan of dragon fruits, but they are expensive, so I wouldn't buy them all the time. But so it depends how you structure your diet. But on average, plant-based diets are cheaper.
Yeah.
Okay. Have a nice day.
You too.
Okay,
Thanks so much.
bye. It was okay. I think he understood it, definitely, but I think also he wanted to find ways to make it, I don't know, I felt it was a way to find it acceptable to continue, because everyone cannot be perfect, so then.
I think it seems a little we got stuck on this about clothing track, but once I explained the appeal to hypocrisy fallacy, it sounded like he got it a little bit. Everyone said that even if I'm a hypocrite, that doesn't change my argument. But I don't know. Do you have other good answers about the clothes we can, I don't know, could have tried?
I think it's a bad thing to divert from what we're actually talking about, because then it becomes a whole different discussion. Well, we can, when they say exploitation is bad, of course, we are agreeing that exploiting humans are bad. But like you said, we don't know for sure all the time when they are being exploited.
Yeah.
Maybe not even for that shoes they are not being exploited, because it depends if they were there at that day.
I don't know if all of Puma's factories are in Bangladesh or exploiting workers. I don't know if this is real Puma shoes or if it's someone just faking it,
And they can easily hide it without us knowing it.
Right.
That is something that we don't know. We have no way of finding out.
Yeah, there's no. Yeah, it's the supply chain is more murky, so you can't always know.
Yeah.
And for one, and I don't know if this is as strong an argument, but we're not buying clothes every day.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
It's so
we are not using it. We are using, but then we are not buying with our money every day. So we can use second-hand clothes, and we can use different clothes. We have varieties of different clothes to use, but we cannot change that individual in the.
It seems like he got uncomfortable when the focus was on his double standard, so he wanted to shift over to, but you also have double standards.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I want. He wanted to make others accountable for that.
Yeah. I don't know if he said he agreed to be vegan just to get out of the conversation, or if he actually meant it.
About that, but
if you meant it, really cool. If you watch, right?
Yes.
Så om det dyr, om det mennesker, om det forskjellige etnisiteter, utseende, alt mulig, så det fortsatt ikke greit uansett hvor vi gjør denne på det.
Okay, ja.
Uansett så utnyttelse en dårlig ting. Du har tolket mine svar ut fra hva du mener jeg mener, og det jeg mente, det var det at mennesker, jeg burde formulert meg annerledes, mennesker burde ikke bli utnyttet. Ja, men jeg vil ikke. Jeg har smakt tofu, jeg har smakt veganske burger, jeg har smakt veganske pølser, jeg vil ikke spise det.
Så din nytelse har vært mer enn noen andre i sitt liv?
Ja. Jeg kan si det sånn, absolutt. Nå, jeg som en atlet, vil jo si det at jeg trenger den kjøttmaten. I dag hadde vi egg og salami, jeg kjenner det.
Så nytelse rettferdiggjør overgrep og utnytting mot andre?
Dyr, ja. Absolutt.
Du også dyr?
Hvis jeg ser noen unger med, så er det politianmeldelse. Okay? Har du forstått?
Ja.